Wow, what a crazy and amazing year. This is probably the best year of fishing, at least result-wise, that I've had. I captured a second Angler of the Year title. It was a close one. Like Daryl made me sweat this year, but I still pulled it off in the Van Hunks because of it. So thanks to Van Hunks and thanks to Dakota Lithium, which is now powering this GoPro. Thanks for your prizes and support for the FKBT this past season, and hopefully they'll continue to grow and you'll be part of the tour or the trail in the following years. Yeah, it was a crazy year. Didn't start out the way that I wanted it to. Fellsmere wasn't great. I missed some opportunities there. I fished well at Claremont, just didn't have the bites that I needed. And the worst part is I think Daryl won it in a spot where I was like, I should go fish that and check it out. I think it sets up really well for the way I like to fish. But then I was like, nah, we're not gonna do that. Let's just gonna stick with what we know. And I caught a lot of fish, just not the size I needed. And then Toho came to a head where I spun out because conditions absolutely destroyed my spot. And then I just bad luck and missed 3 other fish that probably may have got me a check. One of them, the 50-pound braid I had slipped out through the tiny crack between the eyelet and the body of the hook, which I've never had happen before. 50-pound braid, and I know that happened that way because the weight came back, the bead came back, and the bobber stopper came back. So did the knot, but the hook was gone, and that felt like a good fish. And that kind of got me down the dumps. But it all changed at the Winter Haven chain for the BASS because at that point, with 2 hours left, I was thinking about going home, and ended up catching 2 dinks after I caught one decent one in the morning. And I looked at the leaderboard and I realized if I catch 2 more fish, I'm in the lead. And I found a spot, in the last hour or so that I'd seen 7 or 8 boats go into, fish and leave, and just weren't doing anything. But it set up really well for what I thought I could do. And in that spot, I caught, I think 3 or 4, maybe even 5 fish. I don't remember exactly, but I caught enough fish to take the lead. And I won that tournament in the last hour. So part of it was because I hyped myself up and started thinking positive and stopped thinking about how much I hated what I was doing at the moment. And really just started, calming down and really focusing on what I could do. I can't control certain things. I can't control where the fish are going to be at, but I can control how I respond to them and how I respond to the pressure that I'm putting on myself. And believe me, I put a lot of pressure on myself. I have high expectations of everything that I do. It's just the type of person that I am. I put a lot of pressure on myself, so I have really high bars set that I try to achieve. Yeah, and then after that, I went on a tear. I fished a couple tournaments in the FKBT where I had a string of top 3s, including a win. I finished 3rd at the Open. I eventually went on to finish top 10% in my first ever Hobie BOS up on Harris Chain. Felt like I could have done a lot better if the wind wouldn't have died the second day, but I still did enough to finish top 10% out of 170, I think, anglers, which I felt really good about that. I did okay up at Seminole too for a lake that I'd only had 2 days to pre-fish, and it's a huge lake and I've never been there before. I thought I did pretty well. I captured a couple good fish, and I finished just outside. I think I fished 31st, which to me was pretty good on a lake I've never been to before. I was unfamiliar with against some of the best kayak anglers in the nation. So I had a great year, even if I didn't finish as well as I wanted to in both the championships. I always seem to fish really weird between end of July and beginning of October, and I don't know why. It's dog days of summer, and things are really hard at that point. I wonder if it's just. I think I know what I need to do, but I'll have to wait till next year to try it because things are going to start picking up here again. So yeah, thanks to BASS and FKBT, and if you were out there, thanks for supporting the group. So hopefully I'll see you guys out there again next year. I'm going to be involved with that and fishing those trails. It's going to be a great time. They've got a lot of cool stuff lined up for this coming year, and yeah, I'm excited to see you all out there. I think it's going to be a good year. They got some cool lakes lined up on that FKBT. We'll have to wait to see what BASS does and what their schedule is going to be. I'll be fishing the Central Division again. I think Greg Thomas did a good job of running it this year, so I'm excited to see that again and see where that goes. But yeah, crazy year. I couldn't have been happier. I did very well, I thought. And that brings me to this point. So I know I haven't posted a lot of content in probably 3 weeks. If not more at this point. And part of it's because I had stuff to do. My son is in football now, so his football games are on Saturday, and I'm not going to miss those. I don't want to miss those. And then one weekend, my wife had her birthday. So we celebrated her birthday, and I did get to go fishing that weekend. She kicked me out on Sunday and said, no, I go fishing, for at least a couple hours. I want to just relax and watch my K-drama. She's really into that. So that was what she wanted. So she stayed at the house. The boys played video games, watched TV, and I went fishing with Woody on the boat. Didn't bring the camera. Didn't really catch any, but had a relaxing time out there. Came back, had dinner with the family, hung out with them, watched football the rest of the day. So I've kind of had limited time to do stuff. And what I found, though, is even though I had some time to do it, I didn't miss recording. And to be honest, the previous videos leading up to that felt kind of tedious to do. Like, I'm usually pretty excited to get back in and edit the footage after fishing and see, what the catch looked like and relive it. But I didn't miss it. And the videos that I was editing them like Friday night so I could get it up on time for Saturday or Saturday morning, and it felt like a chore. And when things feel like a chore, that's when I begin to kind of reevaluate them, especially if they're not bringing income or anything. And the channel doesn't make any money. I don't post these videos anywhere but here on YouTube. I have an Instagram. I don't post links to the videos. There's a link to the channel here. I've been posting a few videos to my personal page, the tournament ones, especially towards the end of the year, my personal Facebook page. But other than that, I don't post them like KBF members groups or the FKBT group. I know that some people will share them there every now and then, but I don't post them personally. I don't want to junk up other people's feeds with my stuff. So that being said, I've come to this point before, right around 500 subs, where I was like, I'm kind of satisfied. I'm going to stop. I'm going to slowly start kind of uploading less and less, just because I wanted to do things. But I ended up getting sucked into a kayak fishing league that was a team sport, and they wanted us to have content, and we needed it for sponsors. So I kept this going in the hopes that we'd get some sponsors to hop on and help the team out. We ended up picking a few in the second season, but I stopped after that. And just out of habit, this last year, I just kept uploading because I've done it for several years now. And never did I believe that I was going to get to 1,000 subs organically without like posting or telling people about it. So that was really, really cool. And thank you for everybody who's signed up, from those of you who were here at the beginning, for those of you who maybe just found the channel, thank you. In the comments, the watches, the thumbs up, all that was nice. And it kind of kept it going for a while. But if we look at things now, my son's in football, and he really likes doing it. And I think he does it because he not only does he like it, but he feels like he's making me proud to do it, because I like football, and I'm proud of him no matter what he does, and I tell him that. And he's also picked up the saxophone out of his own fruition, which if he wants to do music, I won't tell him no. Band is a place where I learned to be creative and think outside the box and learn some creative problem solving skills. And so I won't tell him no. So he's going to be doing that, and he'll have performances that I want to go to. My youngest son's in cross country. I'm going to miss quite a few of his races just because they line up on days where I have to work at the office, where I have to be teaching. But there are some that I'm going to make, and I want to make sure I make those. And he really wants to get into golf. He really likes golf, and for me, I want to get back into golf more too. During COVID, I got down to a 4 handicap, so I'm pretty good. I've got a trophy sitting over there from when I won my division at the country club I used to belong to. So I want to get involved with that. I want to get him up to where he needs to be so he can compete in middle school and then maybe high school if he wants to. But he's really interested in that. I want to do it. And just spending time with the boys. We went to a Fish for Fun up in Orange County a couple weeks ago. The little one really, really wanted to go because he knew he'd get a free shirt and a medal, and he really wanted to go. So we took him, and the oldest one begrudgingly came along. He doesn't like fishing as much, which is totally fine. I'm not going to force him to do it. But he sat there on his own, and I gave him the rod, and we hooked it with a worm and a split shot, and I said, "You remember how to do this?" And he's like, "I think so." And 5 minutes in, I see him set the hook perfectly, and he brings in a little bluegill, and he ended up catching 3 all on his own. I didn't have to help him. I just rebaited the hook and I cast, because it's really hard to throw a small bait and a split shot on the bass fishing stuff that I have. I don't have anything set up for panfish. And he liked it. He had fun, and the little one had fun too. He caught 2 fish that I kind of helped him with. Helped him set the hook and feel the bite, and then he caught a third one, like a half-pound slab of a red ear. I just look over. I was fixing his brother's line, and I looked over, and he's like, "Dad," and rod's bent over, and I'm wine. So that was kind of cool. I'm very proud of them both for doing that, and we had a good time together. And I kind of figure I have about 10 years before they're both out of the house on doing their own thing, and I don't want to lose that decade with that. I want to do as much as I can with them because they're at the point now where we can go do like cool stuff and they can kind of be independent, but I can also be there, or we could do stuff that's a little more difficult together, stuff that we couldn't do when they were younger. So I'm excited for that, and I want to be really involved with that because it brings me joy. I enjoy watching my son's football games and his practice, my little one running in running club. It makes me excited to be a dad, and I want to be there for all of that. I also, for those of you who know, I teach at a university. I teach music at a university, and that's my day gig. But music's been my life for more than 25 years at this point. I got my first royalty check in 2006. 2006. So almost 20 years of royalty checks have come in since then, and I've been signed to a music publishing library out in LA for more than a decade now. And my music has been posted all over the world. I have royalty checks from all sorts of different types of productions on TV, everything from The Bachelor, The Bachelorette, to The Great Christmas Light Fight, which is on ABC, things that are on investigative channels, stuff on UK radio, and even big productions like the Disney Christmas Day Parade has used my music before. And when the world broadcast premiere of the Special Olympics happened on ESPN and Avril Lavigne was having her comeback tour, the music that sets the stage for Avril Lavigne that is playing in front of the thousands of people who are sitting in that stadium, that's my music. So that's where I've lived and been for almost all my life, and I enjoy it, and I'm getting more into it again. Like I took this YouTube channel on fishing, kind of put it on a back burner a little bit, but I'm diving more into it. I'm writing more. I want to continue to write more. I'm excited to do it. I've had a personal music project, a big one that is slowly starting to turn and get going to where it needs to go, and I'm trying to push that along. I've got 2 albums that are almost complete that need to go out. They're production style music albums, orchestral and hybrid orchestral music. Those need to go out and get ready to go. I'm rebuilding my website. So the whole music thing, I want to dive back into it head first because that's what pays my bills. And honestly, it's fun. It's fun for me. I don't view it as work. I've never viewed it as work. So I'm blessed and lucky in that aspect. So I want to get more involved with that kind of stuff. I've been hanging out with coworkers too because we don't see each other in the office anymore. We work a hybrid schedule. They've been setting up these fun dates where we go out bowling or we go to Topgolf or something. And I've just got so much stuff on the plate that when I look at it, I have to decide something has to go. And I like tournament fishing. I'm not going to stop tournament fishing. But to be honest, when I look at everything and I have to look at something I have to cut out of my life that makes sense, it's this YouTube channel. And as fun as it's been, and the fact that I've reached over 1,000 subs the way that I have, I didn't think I'd ever get there like this or at all. I was just doing it for fun. It makes sense. So that the channel doesn't make any money. I had it there for sponsor, hopefully to get sponsorship content, but at this point, I'm just going to fish competitively for fun. I picked up one legit sponsor over the years, and that's Mondo's Fishing. My buddy Greg runs the store, but he's a good guy. He's when my rods, I had a couple rods break. When some things went wrong, I was like, hey, do you happen to have anything to replace this? Tell me what the price is. And he just straight up was like, come pick it up. I got you. He got me baits, replaced 2 of my rods, got me a rod that I was owed for 2 years from a dealer he was working with, and he helped out in a couple tournament entry fees. That's what a sponsor should do, in my opinion. And I know I could have applied for like pro staff stuff, but I'm not interested in pro staff. I'm not interested in hucking gear on my content to maybe get a code that people can use, or maybe eventually work I get it has to be a mutual benefit between me and the company, but that's not my thing. If you don't want to sponsor me in a way that's going to financially help me through the season, then I'm not interested. No offense to that. I understand that it has to be, again, a mutual relationship or beneficial for both of us, but I don't have the drive to do this and keep the content up. It's not there anymore. And if I look at things that have to go, the YouTube channel is one that I won't miss doing it. I might, I don't know, but it makes the most sense out of everything else that's on my plate. So that being said, I want to thank everybody personally who's watched the channel, who's been following me since I started. This channel started off as something I wanted to be educational, and then became about exploring with my kayak, and then became about tournament kayak fishing, which has been for the last several years now. And I got some amazing catches on camera and some really cool content that I'm proud of, but I'm at the point now where if it's gonna end, I don't want it to die out because I just couldn't keep up. I'd rather end it on a good note. And I think after this year, I think I can end it on a good note. And I feel pretty happy about it. That doesn't mean I'm gonna stop fishing. I'm still gonna be out there tournament fishing. So if you're doing the FKBT, which by the way, by the time this video comes out, you got a week and a half. I'm gonna release this on a Wednesday, week and a half to sign up. Our first tournament's out at Fellsmere. They're all cool people. Contact them through their Facebook group. And if you have any questions, I think it's still $50, I think, for the membership, and then you just pay the entry fees after that, and get yourself a shot at the championship. I think Chris, Todd, Sean, and Jason did a really, really good job with their inaugural year on this, picking up where the other trail left off. They did a killer job, and they're super open. They're super nice about talking, and they want to create this community. They've done a very good job of it. We need more young anglers out there. It'd be nice to see some younger anglers out there. Nice to see some more female anglers out there. I know that Amy and Wendy are out there consistently. It would be cool to get some others out there and join them. Wendy took it to the boys at Bass Nation up on Harris Chain. She caught a 10-pounder, finished in second place, and had she landed some of the other ones she was telling me that she missed, she probably would have won. So, ladies and youngsters, come on out and give us some of this, give us some of the old guys out here a run for our money. It's a fun time, but a week and a half before the next tournament series starts. So come join us for that. It'll be a good time. If you see me out there, say hi. Like I said, I'll be fishing that, and I'll probably be fishing Bass Nation next year too. I won't have my camera with me anymore. It's another thing I don't have to worry about when I'm on the boat, another thing I don't have to worry about throughout the week, and I want to concentrate on other things that right now are more important to me. And that's kind of where I'm at. It's been an interesting ride. And from the bottom of my heart, I want to say thank you to everybody who's watched, who said hi to me at boat ramps, who's commented, support, thumbs up. Thank you so much. And with that, I hope every one of you catches a personal best this next coming year. Stay safe out there, and goodbye.